Experiences shape who a person becomes. Starting my freshman year of college at the University of Nebraska, Kearney, I never imagined the best experience of my life would happen 2 weeks ago. Recently, I was able to travel to Panama to provide free medical care to locals on indigenous islands. It was an extremely exciting and humbling experience that I will never forget. The trip consisted of 5 clinic days, an education day, and a SELO day where we visited an elderly care facility, and then we also got a couple free days to experience Panama. The clinic days consisted of 4 stations, which was intake, vitals, consultation, and pharmacy. For intake, the patients would come and we would take their information as far as like what their main complaint was, their family history. And after that, we would send them to vitals where they would do, we would take their blood pressure, their blood glucose, their height, their weight, and their temperature. And after that, then they would go to see the doctors. The doctors would have diagnoses that they would typically give. Most of the things we saw were parasites or infections, and towards the end of the day, the doctors would start to ask us what we thought the diagnosis should be, just because it was a lot of repetitive things. After consultation, we would send them to pharmacy. If the children had parasites, we would give them medication on the spot. And if it was anything else, then we would send them home with their medication and then educate them on how to take it. To me, pharmacy was the best station for myself because I am pre-pharmacy, so it kind of gave me a taste of what I would be doing for the rest of my life. After clinic days, we had an education day where we went to a school on an indigenous island and we educated them about dental hygiene. So we taught them how to floss, how to properly brush their teeth. Most of the kids there, they either, if they had a toothbrush, they normally didn't have toothpaste, or some of them had never even seen a toothbrush before, which was really shocking to me because for most of us, a toothbrush is just a common, you use it twice a day, every day. But it was really fun at the school because all the kids were in high spirits, and we were able to just interact with them. After we had taught them, we played a game of dodgeball with them, and then we sent them home with toothbrushes and toothpaste, and they all really appreciated that. And so that was really insightful for all of us. Then the final thing that we did was see in a SELO, which is an elderly care facility, which is basically a nursing home but not up to American standards. The conditions that they were living in were really rough. They had air conditioning, but it wasn't on all day, and it was pretty much only on at night. The women were in one room and the men were in the other room. Some of the women had to share beds, so you have 60, 70-year-old, 80-year-old ladies sharing beds, which is not ideal conditions. Most of the people that are there, they don't have any family, so when they get dropped off, they never see their family again. And so that was, for me, the SELO was the hardest part of the whole trip. I just wasn't prepared for what we were going to see, and we really were going kind of blind. Nobody told us what to expect, so that was probably one of the most humbling experiences that I had while on the trip. But we also had some free time, and during our free time, we went to the Panama Canal and saw, when you see it in person, it really puts into perspective how big of an engineering feat that it is. And so that was while we were in Panama City, and then when we were in Bocas del Toro, we went ziplining. We saw Starfish Beach, which is pretty much how it sounds. It's a beach that's full of starfish. And that was just really cool to see because normally you don't really get to see or like hold starfish. And then we also got to go beach hopping, and so we went to one beach where apparently a season of Survivor had been filmed on, so that was really cool to see. And we also were able to see red frogs, which are tiny poisonous frogs that were on this island, but you never came in contact with them, so it was okay. And we also got to see some sloths and some dolphins. So between all of these experiences, being able to make a difference in the lives of others is something that I plan to do for the rest of my life. Traveling to Panama was an experience that has changed me for the better and opened my eyes